friends, Lissa here for another really quick video. I wanted to make this video a compilation of all of the resources, books, websites, YouTubers that I personally follow and enjoy and that really helped me with my personal journey towards veganism, which for me is raw veganism, but we're talking mainly about vegan here. So I wanted to share with you all of these resources in one video so that anyone who has questions or whatever can be pointed to all of these great people who are doing so many amazing things for the movement. All of the links to all of the resources, books and videos and websites and everything will be in the description below. So if you need to go to that, that's there for you. So I'm going to start. My journey started approximately 12 years ago. I was working in the natural health industry at a health food store, and I was coaching people, nutritional help, selling supplements and that kind of stuff. And every Sunday there would be this older lady who would come in and we would just talk a lot because it was really slow there on Sundays, and I learned a lot from her. She originally was the very first person to introduce me to this lifestyle via Professor Arnold, Ehret, and his Mucusless diet healing system. This was the first book that I ever read, and to me it was really extreme because it's basically fruitarian, very little like grains and nuts and seeds, so mostly fruit, and you're taking out all of the foods that according to him are causing mucus in the body. So animal products, high fat foods, and a lot of the grains are eliminated with this diet. It's a very interesting read, and I read it when I was approximately 24 years old. And again, it was pretty extreme, so I put it aside, and I do recommend it. It's a really interesting read. You can get a little bit of information in this one as well. So again, I don't follow anything super strictly. I take what resonates with me and I leave the rest. So for me, raw veganism resonates perfectly with me, and I feel my best eating this way. So I take pieces here and there of science and other anecdotal stories that I hear from people, and I apply that to my life. So I did read that book, and it was kind of like the very first seed that was planted in me for that. And then eventually we started ordering books at the health food store, and this beauty came in. This one is by Wolfe, and it's the Sunfood Success System. And it was the very first raw book that I ever read, and it's beautiful. I actually even have it signed by him because I met him here. And I am very appreciative towards Wolfe for exposing me to the raw vegan lifestyle. I don't necessarily follow him very much anymore, but I still do appreciate greatly what he's done for the movement. And in this book is so beautiful. It's got a lot of Carolyn photography, a lot of poetry, and I resonated with this so much. And this is when I fell in love with raw food, probably about 2005, 2006, around there. And I wanted to be a raw vegan. I didn't have the vegan connection yet, so I really wasn't ethical vegan. I was only vegan because that's how you did raw. You were a raw vegan, and I really didn't have that connection. So I read this book, and then I was raw a couple times. I would do it for a little bit, but it is a higher fat version. There's a lot of gourmet foods, lots of avocados and coconut, and it was causing me to have too many sugar imbalances, and that's why I could never stay raw. But I always resonated with it, and I always felt better doing raw because I was eating whole real foods. But then years go by and I try it here and there, blah blah blah, and I did find FullyRaw Kristina back in the day. Markus Rothkranz is another one that I followed back then. The Garden Diet, those two, Jinjee and Talifero. I am so grateful for you guys for putting the message out there so long ago and living such a beautiful lifestyle that I was so interested in finding more information. So those were some of the original ones that I discovered way back then. And then when I came to about 2010, I started finding a lot more YouTubers, a lot of videos from FullyRaw Kristina and some other people. Ravana started to come around then, give or take a couple years. And I started my Twitter page at Raw Food Romance, and I wanted to actually use it as a motivational tool to keep me raw, and I would do my daily raw affirmations on there starting way back in 2010, but I would constantly keep falling off because I kept eating too high fat and not enough calories. So finally in 2014, September 2014, I had enough and I was feeling so bad. And you guys know in the videos that I have posted just the other day about my life before raw vegan, you can see how many health issues that I had that were just bringing me down and making me feel really depressed about myself. So that morning I woke up and I started watching some FullyRaw Kristina videos. And from there, I found TannyRaw, Raw Tropical Living. I found Chris Kendall from the Raw Advantage, Ted Carr. There were so many that I discovered from watching her videos of people posting in the comments of other videos and then links to other videos, and I started watching a lot of stuff. And then I was reading some of the comments and people were saying to watch Earthlings. And I always knew about the animal torture, I just never had the connection. So I was like, okay, well, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to watch the documentaries. So I pulled up Earthlings at earthlings.com. You can rent the video there, or you can find it. Maybe somebody has a copy of it for you or whatever, but I watched Earthlings and it hit me to the core because I never had that connection with veganism until that day. So I decided I was gonna be vegan. And then I started to really get into the documentaries. Right around that time, Cowspiracy was released. It was a new movie at the time and everyone was like, you gotta watch this movie, it's so good. So I went to cowspiracy.com and I rented that video. Right now it's on Netflix, so if you have Netflix, you can go ahead and watch that there. I watched that and that was probably the video that made me, it was like the solidification of being a vegan. I was like, there is no way I'm going to be eating any more animal products for the rest of my life. So that is a great resource. Then I was watching more documentaries. I watched Forks Over Knives, which is also on Netflix, or forksoverknives.com. And that one, it was about the health aspects of not eating animal products, and that really resonated with me too, because being in the natural health industry, we were told a lot to eat, grass-fed, organic, humane meats, blah, 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 but I just couldn't justify it anymore. Environmentally, ethically, and healthfully, I just couldn't anymore. So then I went into reading more books. I got the 80-10-10 Diet by Doug Graham. That one is more for the raw veganism area. And I read the China study, which is actually what Forks Over Knives is based on the China study. So I started reading those books. I don't have copies of them with me because they are lent out to friends, so I don't have a video of those. But this one is one of my favorite books that came out just recently, maybe about a year or year and a half ago, Proteinaholic by Dr. Garth Davis. This is so awesome. He is a vegan doctor. He also is pro-fruitarianism, pro-raw veganism. He actually did the blood tests for FullyRaw Kristina in one of her videos, and he says if you eat enough calories from fruits and vegetables, you get enough nutrition. You just have to make sure that you eat a good variety and get enough, and you'll be okay. We don't need the amounts of protein that we are eating, and all of his science is in here. So if you want, this is an excellent read. He's awesome to follow, and I highly recommend this book. Next up, I really like the science and studies, and I like to learn a lot about more of the health aspect of things because it's my passion to help people, and it's always been my passion since I was in my 20s, my early 20s. I wanted to help people change their lifestyle and change their diets for the better. So I am always all up for scientific studies and stuff like that, and I discovered nutritionfacts.org. This is run by Dr. Michael Greger, and he dissects the latest scientific research papers and in journals and stuff like that, and he will make little videos on certain topics, and he posts them all on his website and on his YouTube channel. He wrote this book, which is awesome. I got it for Christmas, and it's How Not to Die by Dr. Michael Greger, and this is full of science, guys. If you want science, this is where you're gonna look for it. He is also a vegan doctor. He isn't raw, but again, raw is just my personal choice of where I want to go because I feel better eating all raw. But if you want something for veganism, this is an excellent book on the science. So those are just a couple of the main resources that I like to tell people to start reading. I have a 52-week transition guide if you need to take a year to become a raw vegan. That is available on my e-store, payhip.com/rawfoodromance, along with my 30-day meal plan, which has 90 raw vegan recipes in it. So for the 30 days that you're on this plan, you're eating something different for every meal for those 30 days. You can also use it as a recipe book. It has awesome recipes, and I have a lot of people who find that it's easier to stick to a raw vegan diet when they do some of my recipes. Again, I'm not a purist. I still include things like coconut aminos, nutritional yeast, and cashews, but I do them at a very low minimum just to be able to keep on the lifestyle. And it really helps a lot of people transition over to a more raw vegan lifestyle. You can find those again at my e-store, payhip.com/rawfoodromance. The link is in the description below. I am also coming out with a holiday recipe book that you can find at that website too once it's released. So that also, you can get a copy of my 30-day meal plan on Amazon. You just have to search for Raw Food Romance in Amazon, and my book will come up there too. So hopefully this amount of resources can help you. If you need to pass this video along to anybody who is thinking about becoming a vegan, they can watch all of the videos, read a bunch of the books, and check out a lot of vegan YouTubers on YouTube. There are tons of us, and we need more. We need a lot of people to be healthy vegans and healthy raw vegans to show that this lifestyle is attainable and is doable, and we feel amazing doing it. So I hope this video helped somebody. If you liked it, please click like and subscribe to my channel to get notifications for more videos. You can find me on Facebook. I am Lissa's Raw Food Romance, and on Instagram at Raw Food Romance, and Snapchat, Lissa Raw Vegan. So until the next video, guys, I love you all, and fruit on.